What's up, y'all? Timothy Mershon here. I recently had the pleasure of participating in a full-scale active shooter survival training course and training exercise. This was a neat program. I not only learned a lot in the class time, but during the scenario, the full-scale training exercise, I learned a lot about myself and how I handle pressure. I died in the end. Okay, spoiler alert. I want to leave you guys with two things. I want to teach you not only the gist of the information that he gave us, but I also want to tell you to bring your camera with you wherever you go, because you never know when one of these opportunities might pop up. I'm going to teach you that in the form of a video by showing you what I did when I brought my camera with me. Let's get right into this. Alright, so here's the gist of the information before we get into the whole me dying part. He said that a lot of times an active shooter can actually be identified and stopped before an event ever actually happens. He said a lot of times it's disgruntled employees or co-workers or students, and that if we as a community are paying attention to our friends and checking up on them, we can actually identify unusual behavior and alert our higher authorities before an event ever takes place. In the event that an active shooter is in a building, which I hope nobody is ever a part of because that would be absolutely horrible, but if that ever happens, he said we have a couple of options. They've narrowed it down to this: run, hide, fight. In that order. If you can escape the building, don't stay in there. If you don't have a safe passage out of the building, then hide. Hide in a closet, hide up high, hide down low, hide somewhere where you don't think you'll be found. The last option, and honestly it really is a last ditch option, is to fight. That is a last resort option. Don't go to that as your first option. Run if you can, hide if you can, and only fight if you have to. Alright, let's jump right into the exercise because this is where it gets really interesting. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
I think there's more than one, I'm not too sure. I'm on the second story. I'm in the closet right now.
So obviously running is your best option. Kick doors, break windows, do whatever you need to get out of the building.
Sir, you need to hurry. Please hurry. Alright, everybody go!
The next option is to hide. Okay, so there was a lady that hid under the desk during the exercise, and for like 30 minutes nobody knew where she was. The police were searching all over the building, but they never thought to look under the desks. So we ran into the conference room. Bad idea, let me just clarify, you don't go into a conference room with glass windows and doors that you can't lock. That's just a bad idea right off the bat. But we were told to go in there, so we did. I figured that he was going to come into that conference room because he was going all over the building. So instead of hiding under the table and waiting for him to take us all hostage, I opted to fight.
Yo, Brett! Here you go. Good. He's down. Hey, go.
After I died and the police came in and cleared the entire building, I had a neat opportunity to have a conversation with the police officer who was acting as the active shooter. He sat down at the conference table and I joined him, and I just kind of asked him, like, well, what would you have done in this situation?
So what would have been best in that scenario?
Well, in this situation, honestly, you have books. You have a metal statuette.
Yeah.
You have various types of plaques that are hard. You have a big old flagpole that you can use.
Yeah. Which I didn't actually want to use. any of their
Had
stuff.
you had time, if you saw multiple people here and you saw that nobody else was doing anything, take control of the situation. Push the table against the doors. Lock the refrigerator. Push all the chairs in front of the doors. Make it difficult for them to get. Now you have to understand that, yeah, this is glass.
Yeah.
You can still shoot through this material, bullets will go through.
Yeah.
But if you make it hard for him to actually see you, he can't see you, he can't gain entry. Well, no, that's too much.
Right after this, there was a super neat moment, and I didn't put it in the video because it seemed like a really personal moment between this lieutenant and his officers, but I'll explain what happened. Basically, they came in and they were like, hey, Lieutenant, like, how did we do? And he just calmly said, you know, here's what you did wrong. In this situation, I would have done this. And he explained to them in a loving way, like, here's how you could have done it better. Then he also followed that up with, here's what you did really well. And you know what, you guys are learning a lot. You're doing a good job, like, keep it up. And it was cool because the officers replied so humbly and they were like, wow, that's really great. Thank you, we see that. And they explained back to him what he just explained to them, which really showed that they learned what he said and that they could repeat it back to him.
Don't discount your abilities. You're a very good cohesive unit and you got the task done.
Alright, so what's the point here? Okay, hopefully for everyone we can learn a couple of things about active shooters. Run, hide, fight. For us as filmmakers specifically, I want you to take your camera with you because you never know when you're going to have an opportunity like this to capture something that you can share with the world that will be wildly informative and helpful for people. I asked the lieutenant, can I film this event? He said, absolutely. I didn't have to go home and get my camera. I didn't have to go get my gear. I was right there. It was all charged and ready to go. And all I had to do was film. So next time that you have an opportunity to take your camera, charge it up, clear out the memory card, and be ready to go because you never know when you might capture something cool and informative that you can share with the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next week, because we're filmmakers, I am going to be joined by Laura Cornelius, the fabulous Laura Cornelius, and we're going to be talking about The Lion King. Today we're going to do our own review of The Lion King because we saw it once in theaters and another time in the drive-in theater. At the end we're going to give it our own rating on entertainment and family friendliness, so stay tuned till the end. We're also going to get a little bit into Uncanny Valley, which is a term you're going to hear a lot in the next year as movies like The Lion King come out and Cats. So you're going to want to be there. Join us next week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be informative. I think you're going to like it. Hope to see you there.
I think that this would be good for little kids. Like there was, especially since they were animals, there was not like any nudity or like there was no
The animals were
inappropriate-
completely nude.
That is very true.
This video definitely doesn't have a kid's rating.
Oh wow.